What teams, when you look at the draft, do you say, man, they had a really good draft?
I got to go to the New York Football Giants. They got Carter. They got Dart from Ole Miss, traded back into the first round. They had to leave this draft with a quarterback.
So Abdul Carter got a hold of LT and said, hey, man, I want to wear your number 56.
No, get your own number. Ain't no magic in the number. But the truth of the matter is, LT, if you Google him, there's nothing that's coming up in the last 15 years that's been good. Like, this was an opportunity for him to ride with this young dude. So for his job interview, he was so concerned about, what his outfit was. His necklace was over $100,000. He hadn't even convinced people that you're the face of our franchise. Matter of fact, he had convinced people that they were better off going in a different direction, even with people who had lesser talent. That's the rub he put on the people.
All right, guys, welcome to episode of Fully Loaded, episode number 48. How you doing, Cris Carter?
Good, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing, man. Thank you for being here, dude.
Yep, looking forward to it.
I appreciate you, man. All right, so let's talk about what everybody was talking about. Hey, first of all, I never watched the NFL draft. Never, okay? I don't know that a lot of people do watch the NFL draft. Maybe they do.
I always watch the draft.
Of course you watch the draft. You play in the NFL, you're a Hall of Famer. But do a lot of people watch the NFL draft?
Yes, more than you would think.
How many watch it?
We got to get Drew to get the exact numbers.
See how many people are watching. I know there were a couple hundred people supposedly sitting outside in Green Bay.
Yeah, a couple 100,000, yes.
And there ain't that many people in the city. So everybody's excited. I think a lot of people were excited. I want to know where Shedeur was going to go. I thought that was good. That was entertaining to me. Not what ended up happening, but prior to, I'm like, what's going to happen? Who's going to get picked first? Because usually I'm like, this dude will go first, this dude will go second, this will go third. And then as he kept rolling, how many? 13 million. 13 million people watch the draft. Damn, the NFL's got some shit figured out. All right.
Yes.
So I'll tell you what, I watched the beginning. I watched on the NFL Network, and then I went to ESPN.
Yes, different coverage. Yes.
Oh, much different. Dude, I would rather literally have you take nails, and put them into my legs than me having to listen. Is it Rich Eisen? Does he run it?
He's NFL Network.
Yeah, NFL Network. Him,
yes.
Kurt Warner. They're like, we're going to pass it to Kurt Warner now.
Yes.
Kurt's like, yep. And another thing they do one time. One time that he threw the ball down the field. So I got to ESPN. Thank God somebody else was covering it aside from them, because that was not entertaining. All right, so what happened with Shedeur Sanders?
Well, a number of things happened. The number one thing that didn't happen was there was not a collusion message with the NFL owners.
Okay, what? Okay, a lot of people think that.
Because they wouldn't be able to keep a secret like that. And
so they might do it, but they couldn't shut up about it.
They wouldn't be able to shut up about it. But every owner is very, very selfish. Now, why would I do something to my detriment? Like, if I need a quarterback and I think this kid is it, what he didn't realize is the guys that have fallen in the draft before, they all had unusual traits. Like, they had some superstar qualities to them. Now, some other things happened that made them fall, but Shedeur and his family, they overplayed their hand. Them thinking that he was in the same evaluation mode as Eli Manning, they didn't play that right. Them trying to narrow the teams that he was going to go to, that didn't do right. Not working out at the combine, that wasn't the right thing. His interview process, obviously he could have done a lot better in that. A lot of people left that meeting, felt he was very, very entitled.
Which meet? Like, because they said Brian DeBall, the Giants coach, had said he didn't like the meeting. He asked him, he had some book, was his playbook or something he was supposed to know, and he said he felt weird about it. I don't know who else said they didn't like the meeting with him. Or was just people behind the scenes saying they did?
Well, the thing about it, they didn't draft him.
I know that.
So
part.
It's not the tape.
Okay, because the tape's good enough to get drafted early enough.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, his tape is good enough for him to be a first rounder. But there's a number of things. It's not one thing. Last year when Deion interviewed for the Dallas Cowboys job, that did not help Shedeur. Now, it helped Deion get a new contract in Colorado, but long-term it didn't help Shedeur because the Giants, they're coached in their last year, general manager in their last year. If they struggle, the Giants potentially, an option would be look at Deion as the head coach. So why would I draft a kid? Like, they missed out on that. Like, they obviously, they didn't think this all the way through. And I think there were a number of teams that had that in the back of their mind, and they don't believe his talent is generational. They do believe that guys are more athletic and guys have bigger arms, And they do believe he's been coddled. He's been coached by Deion his whole life. Now, there's been benefits to that, but this is the first time it's been a detriment.
So his tape, because he had last season at 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, NCAA leading 74% completion rate. Then he said, in his line, was his offensive line good?
Offensive line was no good.
Okay,
wide
no
receivers,
good.
3 wide receivers drafted in the NFL.
Yeah, but offensive line.
No good.
I'm getting to him. So you talk about him holding the ball too much. Sometimes people are coming to hit you, and you don't want to throw it to the other team. Is that not fair enough?
Yeah, let me talk football, though.
Yeah, I'm listening.
There's a reason why a lot of dudes hold on to the ball, too, is because the coverage has not revealed where the ball, and their anticipation is not as good as some of the other guys.
So sometimes he ate the balls because he couldn't pick up the coverage prior to, and the defense outsmarted him.
Yes, and he likes guys to be a little more open before he lets it go. And he doesn't have a big-time arm. He's not a big guy. He's not overly athletic. So his measurables are not, say, first-round measurables, but he played football like a first-rounder.
But his tape's first-round tape. But his measurables are not first-round measurables.
Well, you don't play football all the time. You're a human being the rest of the time. And how you're going to be in the locker room, how he already came up with this line of merchandise, legendary, like he's already calling himself legendary. All those things are problems. And once the teams that weren't looking at starters, the makeup of a backup in the NFL is totally different.
I understand. I understand that he's probably not going to be fired
the backup
up
in the NFL. He doesn't have a media team following him. He doesn't have cameras following him. He doesn't have all these social media, all these things that they're doing.
But you wouldn't let that happen, right? The team wouldn't let that happen if you're a back quarterback. Wouldn't the team just say, you're not doing all this shit?
The team doesn't have the right to do that. The team would give you advice to say that I think you should concentrate on learning the playbook and being an NFL player, but they can't mandate what you do in your downtime.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just think for me, like I'm listening to him, and I listen. He fell. Did he fall a lot further than you thought he would fall?
Yes.
Yeah,
bro, he probably. I mean, the contract situation, the signing bonus or lack of signing bonus,
the amount of money
that he missed out on. I mean, you're talking about top 5 pick. You're talking about $30 to $40 million, and then it sets you up for that next contract. They set you up for that option year, but right now he's working check to check, man. Like he's not going to get a big signing bonus. There's not going to be a big guarantee. Any day they want to get rid of him in the week, they can get rid of him. And it's really tough when they draft someone at your position because only one quarterback plays. It's not like wideout. It's not like DB. And then in the 3rd round, they drafted Dillon Gabriel.
Which he's better than Shedeur. I'm asking, he's a better.
Well, I'm just going to tell you right now, they're slotted. Draft picks are lane assignments. So he's got lane 3. Shedeur drafted in lane, round 6 is in lane 8 or lane 1. He's either run out by the fence by the kids, or he's running in lane 1 where he's got to run that long turn. That's the way the game is, man.
Got a lot of work to do.
And it's hard to get to your second contract when you're working check to check.
All right, so here are the quarterbacks they're going to have in the quarterback room. Shawn Watson, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur. Who's going to play? Who's going to start?
I think either Shedeur or Kenny Pickett are going to start.
I would agree with that.
I think they're going to keep Joe Flacco around just long enough to give him some seasoning. But I think they're going to be in an unusual quarterback situation because they're going to have to keep 2 rookies. They're going to have to keep Dillon, and they're going to have to keep.
So why pick Shedeur after you pick Dillon?
Because value. Like when you're trying to put your roster together and there's a kid that you can get for a 6th-round investment and put him in your locker room, and you were thinking about potentially drafting him.
No, I get why I took Shedeur. That was, I think I was sitting there waiting. Why wouldn't somebody else grab him anyway? Why take Gabriel? You think he was a better pick for them over Shedeur at that time?
Man, something happened with the Browns between day 2 and day 3. Okay, because with Shedeur available, and it's not like, okay, I'm prone to get a lefty, which Dillon is a lefty compared to Shedeur. The kid's got the most starts in the history of college football, Gabriel. and then Shedeur still on the book that they can pick him up. But something had to change in their philosophy because they could have got Shedeur with the 3rd round pick. Something changed between ownership, management, the general manager. Something changed between day 2 and day 3.
What bothers me the most about the measurables is this kid ain't been in trouble. He ain't got no like charges. He's not out. I don't know him, so I understand. I think the struggle for me is you don't guys when they walk in the NFL, don't guys just get humbled when they walk in the locker room? Like, even before you have to humble them, don't they walk in and look around and be like, man, like he does? Don't we think Shedeur is smart enough to know he's not at Jackson State and he's not at Colorado?
No,
you don't think so.
I listened to too many of his answers. I saw too many of the outtakes. I saw too many times he was working out with other players, and he said things that I thought were highly questionable for my franchise quarterback.
So like what?
When he was working out with Cam Ward, him and Cam Ward, the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you want to cut a rap video together? No, I want to be known as a football player.
And he's like, what do you do for fun? He's like, I play football. But do you think you talk about some of the great coaches you had. Like let's use Tomlin. No, we can't use that. Let's use Tomlin. He walks into Pittsburgh, which obviously is in Cleveland now. Tomlin can't control that? Or he chooses
You can
not
only
to?
control so much. If you draft a guy in the 1st round, you're also empowering whatever that is. So if he comes in, he's got a media crew, you draft him in the 1st round, you're our quarterback, you're accepting that. So you're either teaching it or you're tolerating it.
So if he had went to the combine, if he had good interviews, he'd have been a top. He might have gotten picked by the Giants early.
Top 10. He's not going to get by the Raiders, and he's not going to get by New Orleans.
If those things were better.
Why wouldn't you sit down with people? And something these kids never understand. Even if you're a top 10 pick, you're in the NFL for a long time. Yeah. So your interview, your tape, people in the room that see you, someone can like you in the room. They might not draft you 5-10 years later, man.
You're looking for a guy, you're looking to trade, and they remember your interview.
Yes.
The interview you had.
It's a small world.
Did you know that when you were his age?
Yes, I knew that.
How did you learn it?
Well, I was at Ohio State, and we had extensive media training, but this whole thing with Deion and the media and everything, like, it's out of control. Like, it did not help him. It helped him make money in college because he got followers, but it actually hurt him as far as him getting a job as an NFL quarterback.
You mean as Shedeur, his social media stuff with Shedeur?
Yes.
It hurt him.
Yeah. What else hurt him? What else?
Lack of ability, lack of leadership. I hear you on everything you're saying. I'm not disputing any of that as far as what you're saying and what people thought. But I'm like, I can't imagine being an NFL head coach. And like, this is my deal. I agree if you're a 1st round pick compared to your 6th round pick, I get.
But if you don't have to deal with it, when 99% of all your players understand that, but you got one person that you have to.
You don't think they could get him to understand that real fast? I know you've heard his interviews.
Let me tell you what he understands today.
Okay.
He ain't running shit. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what. They taught him a great lesson.
Okay.
Like, you don't have this figured out. Your dad don't have this figured out.
Who's they? NFL,
Shedeur,
the world. No, you said they taught him. I'm just curious. Like,
well, the system.
The system. Okay,
there's a system out there, man.
Okay.
Like, you're going for a job interview. So for his job interview, he was so concerned about, what his outfit was. His necklace was over $100,000. Like, he hadn't even convinced people that you're the face of our franchise. Matter of fact, he had convinced people that they were better off going in a different direction, even with people who had lesser talent. That's the rub he put on the people.
If that's the case, that's a bad interview, bro.
No, it is the case. He didn't get drafted right. It's no speculation. Like, we're through the draft. We're through 3 days. He threw away at least $30 to $50 million. At least.
Dude, I just don't. And I hear you on all that. I think it's just it's unfortunate that somebody that had less ability or and especially when Dylan got picked, I was like, damn.
This is the thing.
And,
people
people
say, well, what about Johnny Manziel? Man, Johnny Manziel beat Alabama twice.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel was
Johnny Manziel was a dude.
He was a dog. Yeah, no doubt about it. He was a different dude coming out with the resume he had. He was a different dude. I totally agree.
And then there's some other things coming out.
Yeah.
Shedeur threw a birthday party. None of his teammates went.
That's like the movie Draft Day. Remember the movie Draft Day? That's exactly what it said they want to draft him. They had a birthday party in Wisconsin in the fictitious movie with Kevin Costner, and they said, how many of your teammates are? He's like, I don't really remember. He's like, your 21st birthday, you don't really remember? You know? Well, hey, dude, it'll be interesting.
The contract he signs, he will not make more money in the NFL contract that he signs, the 3 or 4 year contract he signs, than he made in NIL in college. He getting ready to work for less money in pro football than he was making in college.
I guess we'll see what kind of dude he is and how much work he puts in or not. It'll be interesting. You're not betting on it, though.
Man, we are what we do and what we say.
Yeah,
okay.
I would agree with that. 100%. All right, so the Steelers drafted your guy, Will Howard, Ohio State guy.
Mm-hmm.
Here's their quarterback room right now. Will Howard, Skylar Thompson, and Mason Rudolph. They're in trouble, bro.
Oh,
are they going to get Aaron Rodgers?
Don't you see the setup?
Dude, I think they're still in trouble when they get him.
Well, but he's better than all those guys. And I think that Aaron didn't want to go to a situation like Kirk Cousins was in, where he ends up signing with someone, then they draft someone that makes his job in jeopardy as you go through the season.
He's got no jeopardy. If Aaron Rodgers is looking for no jeopardy, he found it.
Well, draft day is important because they can tell you whatever they want to.
Yeah. So you think he's waiting for draft day?
Yes.
Who the hell they picked up?
Yes.
If they got some star where he had to look over his shoulder every other week, he wasn't going to do that.
No.
Because he's Aaron Rodgers, he ain't going to do that.
No. Mike Tomlin told him, we're not going to draft a young kid. All right, we're going to go with you. We're going to get a project.
Yep. Which is, Will's project.
Will Howard is a project.
Skylar Thompson was still in the NFL. He was to the Dolphins.
Man, the Dolphins and the drop off between him and Tua in that offense and watching him,
dude. It was hard. It was
hard. You couldn't even go to the games.
It was hard to even watch. Hey, so Shedeur got a prank call, and the NFL said they're looking into the prank calls. The NFL going to go after these kids that prank called? Is that what the NFL does? They're looking into that, they said.
No, they found out.
No, they know who it is.
Oh, absolutely.
They ain't going to do something. They think they're trying to do something about it. They just want to make
Well, the kid he actually called Shedeur. It's one of the assistant coaches for the Atlanta Falcons, one of his kids.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was one of the coaches'
kids?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Like it was a private list.
Yo, so that kid's fucked.
Oh,
Dad's
man.
fucked.
Oh, my God.
How dumb are you? And he taped it, right?
Yeah, they taped
himself
it.
doing it and posted it.
Yes.
Dad's fired.
Like, don't you think they're going to be able to trace it?
And his dad was what, like an assistant coach, assistant coach?
Yeah, assistant coach for Atlanta Falcons.
Yo, that is fucking stupid. I did not know that. I'm like, how'd he get his number? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, a few people had it. A few coaches had it. And he got it from his dad.
Crazy shit. All right. Abdul Carter.
I'm going to Ole Miss and punch him in his face.
I would too. You know what would be funny? If every time you make a prank call, you had to show up to the person face to face. Like, man, you had to make the prank call.
You know how embarrassing it was for his dad to go back to work? Arthur Blank? Who? Wait. Arthur Blank's like, wait.
Arthur Blank.
Who? Yeah. Wait. What happened?
Your kid did what?
My kid took the number and crank called him.
Dude, I did not know.
And one of the things, too, that makes that bad is because, see, everyone thought the league was in cahoots, cohorting to not getting drafted.
Correct. Oh, that makes it even fucking worse.
Like, yes.
Released his fucking number. And
yes.
Tormented the kid and kicked him when he was down. I did not know his assistant coach's kid. Yo, that kid would be in trouble, motherfucker. I'll tell you what.
Another thing I picked up, too. This is just another tidbit. I saw the Browns when they called Shedeur. And you could tell he's just a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just crying.
Did you see their reaction?
I saw their reaction. Everyone said the general manager.
Yeah.
Interesting. I could hear Dion in the back of the call when Shedeur got off the call. They were telling him, keep your phone nearby. We're going to be calling you to make arrangements and everything. Look forward to seeing you. Dion asked, could he talk to the general manager?
You heard that in the call?
Yes.
And what
at the end of the call.
What did Shedeur say?
No, Shedeur didn't have any. Shedeur, he gave up the phone.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, Shedeur gave the phone, and Dion said, let me talk to Barry, the general manager. And it's another example. Like, the other kids drafted in the first round, their parents didn't talk to the general manager. No, for real.
No, I know.
Like, these things are real, man.
I know they are, dude. But everybody knows.
Like,
I mean,
who in the 6th round is even trying to request to talk to the general manager?
no parents in the 1st round trying to talk to the general manager. But also, like, yeah, I hear everything you're saying. I get on that end of it. I'm just like, I guess for me, no matter what, I'm not saying Shedeur's his talent. He ain't Cam Ward. But if Shedeur had Cam Ward talent, and Cam Ward went into his interviews and pissed himself and it wasn't good, he's still getting drafted.
But he's better.
That's what I'm saying.
He's got traits.
That's my point. 100%.
His talent,
100%.
It's just like anybody else, man. Like, if you don't have unusual traits, they will put up with your mess for a certain period of time till they can replace you.
Dude, I'll put up with a mess as long. Again, I until they can replace you. Like, don't be absent. Don't be expendable. Don't get replaced. But also, like, dude, once he rolls in the NFL,
and it was a weak year for quarterbacks.
Yeah, I know.
It was set up for him.
I know. I just can't believe it fell. And who was Stow? Who's that dude?
Oh, the kid at Louisville. Yeah,
he's like 26, 27 years old.
But he was at Texas. He was with our guy.
Oh, he was at Texas?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
Kitley. And then he did a year with Kitley, and then he went to Louisville for this last year. Yeah, big-time thrower, good athlete.
Yeah, well.
He made some money 3rd round.
Yo, he sure did.
Kitley was with them. They were in Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the coach was out there with his family and everything.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, we're pulling for him then.
Absolutely.
All right, so Abdul Carter got a hold of LT and said, hey, man, I don't want to wear your number 56. Did you know what LT would say before he even called him?
Yep.
Were you 100% sure what LT would say?
Yep.
Do you think he asked anybody about what LT would say before he called LT? Anybody that would have any insight into well, tell him what LT said.
No. Get your own number. Ain't no magic in the number. But the truth of the matter is, LT, if you Google him, there's nothing that's coming up in the last 15 years that's been good.
Yeah.
Like, this was an opportunity for him to ride with this young dude.
But did you think he was going to?
No.
Yeah.
Like, if Justin Jefferson had called me and said, hey, can I wear number 80? I'd like to wear number 80. I've been like, I think it's a lot of pressure. I think that I'm flattered by you wanting to wear it. You know something? Let's go for it.
You would have said yes.
Because the thing about it brings you back to relevancy.
Yeah, that's true.
You know how many number 56 jerseys they getting ready to sell in New York?
That's true. Yeah.
Like, you get to walk this thing out with him. Like, this is meant for you. Like, this is a setup. Like, you're supposed to be like, yeah, no problem. It's a rebirth.
You don't think LT just believe it? So why do you say no? Because he's LT?
Because he thinks he is some separate from everyone else. And he doesn't realize the magnitude of the moment. Like, there ain't no magic in that jersey in the rafters. Mm-hmm. Putting it on a young man who could be a generational talent, like, this kid is incredible. Mm-hmm. I would love to see someone flying around because it's not hype. Mm-hmm. Like, he actually has the ability that would be able to fill out the jersey. It would be sensational to see. With the New York fan base, like, he missed an opportunity.
Straight out said no.
Straight out said no.
Plus,
no chance.
When you in the NFL and they sell your jersey anywhere, what do you get?
You get a piece of it.
Okay. Do you still get it in perpetuity, like forever? Like,
yes.
LT, you selling Lawrence Taylor jersey.
If it has his name on it, they can sell.
What I'm saying.
See, they can sell the 56 without his name on it.
They sell the 56 with Taylor anywhere.
But I still have a jersey deal. I still have a jersey deal with Ohio State.
But I'm saying,
I still have a jersey deal with the NFL.
And he would have sold more jerseys. He could have sold more of his jersey.
Yes.
Because these guys would be like, I got 56 Taylor. I got 56 Carter. We're at the game. This is badass. He would have made more money.
Oh, my. He's not going to make no money.
But he would have made more money.
I mean, over the next 10 years, how many? 10 people going to buy an LT jersey?
Yeah, but how many would have bought it if Carter ends up being an NFL rookie of the year?
It was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer.
But you were sure he was going to screw it up.
Well, I knew he wasn't going to have the long vision to realize what an opportunity this was. With the merchandise in the NFL, in New York City.
What do you mean he thinks he's better? So you think he thinks everybody's here and he's just a...
I think that there's 1% in the Hall of Fame. They know who they are. They think they're better than everyone else. And they think that there should be, like, different rules for them. Mm-hmm. Like, they think that the NFL should be paying them forever because they're in the Hall of Fame compared to somebody else who played 10 or 15 years, but they didn't make the Hall.
But even that's within the Hall. They think they have a different
hierarchy
within the Hall.
Yes, for sure.
Got it. Okay. So I was reading this because it's a lot of what you said. Colin Cowherd talking about Shedeur and talking about trying to figure out how he did. And a message to tell your kids to be. It's never a bad message to tell your kids to be humble. Now, before I move on to something else, because I want to ask you. You're a quarterback in the NFL. Well, how about this? Did Aaron Rodgers have good interviews, you think, back in the day? Or he's just smart enough to interview well?
No, Aaron Rodgers slipped in the draft. He was supposed to be the top pick. He slipped to the end of the first round.
Because of just some of that stuff.
Because of some of that stuff, it wasn't clear, and he rubbed people in his interviews not the best.
Which is what he's still doing. But he had more talent.
Yeah, that's the number one way to predict future behavior is past behavior.
Got it. All right.
Got it.
That is true. All right. Is there any team worse? Is there an NBA team worse in the playoffs this year than the Miami Heat? Is this by far the worst team in the playoffs? Did they get beat last night by like 40 at home?
Yeah, they're the worst.
All right. So what do you think is going to come out of this thing now that we're moving on with? I think the Celtics they're playing probably right now. They're up 2-1. They lost to Magic somehow, but they had some dudes hurt. Did Knicks win today or Pistons win? Is it 2-2 or 3-1?
New York edged them out. New York came
3-1.
back.
All right.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Your boy
Brunson were sensational today. Yes.
Your boy Lillard came back right for the Bucks, so they
2-1.
2-1 now. Thunder and Grizzly are
have
3.
Rap City.
Okay, Rap City.
Yeah.
Rockets. What Warriors won last night?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yep, barely 2-1. Warriors up.
Oh, Lakers playing right now. What's that? 1-1. Lakers playing right now.
Yeah, Lakers up by 6.
How much time?
Third quarter.
All right. And then Nuggets, Clippers. Nuggets squeaked that one out last night in Oregon. So what do you think? Now that you've seen these teams, I know you're still a big Celtics guy to run the table.
I think that in the East, the Celtics are going to be the team, and then in the West, I would like to see OKC. Now it's still a long time, but best record in the NBA. Second youngest NBA team in playoff history. Last year's NBA team that got upset, OKC, was the youngest in NBA history. Mm-hmm. So they just present a number of matchup problems, and, man, they're ginormously tall.
Yeah.
Like, they got some length to them that presents a lot of problems. So I think OKC, and I think the reason why a lot of people can't really get behind them because they didn't watch them a lot. Mm-hmm. And they had more blowout games than anybody in the NBA. Mm-hmm. So OKC, to me, Boston has an unusual. I mean, they're so gifted, offensively and defensively, and their matchups with Porzingis, Drew Holiday, like their role players are better than the other team's role players, and that's what gives them, to me, the advantage, and the coach, the experience he's gathered in the last 3 years.
And the Cavs look good, but against the Heat. And you still
the Cavs look good.
Yeah, I think so too.
And if you look at the 3 teams, they got unusual length. The Cavs got unusual length. Everybody in the league's trying to get smaller, shooting threes. Not the 3 best teams, even though the Celtics shoot a lot of threes, but their length, man. Mm-hmm. Their length is special.
And Knicks, I think Knicks will get by the Pistons, but you don't think they can give the Cavs.
I mean, Detroit doesn't have their starting center, and they're giving them everything they want. Mm-hmm. They're giving the Knicks everything that they want. So I think the way Detroit has come back, made a mark, in the postseason after being horrific the last 5 to 8 years. That's a great story in the NBA. Basketball in Detroit is good. Good to have it back at a high level. And, they're a team you have to deal with in the future. Them and Orlando, 2 good young teams that their centers are injured, and they're still making a mark in the playoffs this year.
And the Cavs they got to go to setup. They got the Heat, which will be a sweep. Then they got the winner of the Pacers and the Bucks. That should be a pretty easily manageable series.
Yes.
And then they play the Celtics in the finals, which I still bet a lot of cap money on the Cavs. So I'm hoping the Cavs get by the Celtics. Now, Drew Holiday's hurt, right?
Yeah, off and on.
But nothing crazy.
Yes. Yeah, him, Brown, and Tatum, all of them have missed some type of time. We know Porzingis the last 2 years has missed a significant amount of time. But regardless of who they have in the lineup, they continue to play at an elite level.
If Butler comes back and plays, do you think that the Warriors have any? First of all, they should win they might win the series, the Houston series. They got any shot to win their next series? Which would be the 2-3, the winner of the Lakers and the Timberwolves.
Yes, they're just as good as those two teams.
Okay.
I don't think they can go all the way, and I don't believe they have the depth, but they also don't have any center, any height, any rim protection.
Draymond is down there.
You can drive the ball to the bucket on them. Mm-hmm. But Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry combination, playoff Jimmy Butler and Steph, is dangerous.
It's a different ball game, bro. And Jimmy Butler will be back from whatever his bruise is. So, all right, we got a lot of comments, which I want to talk about, and some shit we can talk about with the comments. But they're also really funny. All right. How about this? Thomas Gabitas 3801 says, I think the Niners are going to trade Brock Purdy, and Aaron Rodgers is waiting in the wings to come play for the 49ers. What do you got to say to Thomas?
Man, change the narcotic that you're using. It's having a really bad effect on you. Like, there's no way that John Lynch and the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan is truly one of the dictators we have in football as far as play calling, what he's going to do, how they're going to do it. Aaron Rodgers is not in his stratosphere. He's not even on his map as far as a guy that he would want running his offense if you know anything about Kyle Shanahan. So, no, absolutely not. Zero. No.
How do you think about Purdy? How do you think he's going to do this
They're going to sign. They got to sign.
No, but how do you think he's going to do this year?
I think that Brock Purdy is an underrated player. And I think that as long as we don't change his expectations, like he was a 6th-round pick, he's a starting quarterback. He's very, very efficient. But he's not a guy that can throw the ball 45 times a game. So they had superior personnel since he's been there. Now it's, can they win a game with him being the lead dog? That's going to be the question there.
Got it. Okay. D. Muck Girl Gardner. Coach Carter is a big part of guiding the young men of his team. Big part of why my son plays, FAU football. Hope these young men understand what a gold mine of knowledge and guidance they have to their benefit. D. Muck Girl Gardner. Do you know D. Muck Girl Gardner? Who her son is?
No, what's the last name?
Gardner, I'm assuming. Unless it's just Gardner, it says, no, D. Muck Girl Gardner. So not Gardner. Gardener.
No, but I appreciate the comments. We do spend a lot of time, and we do try to make positive influences on the young people. That's what life is about. Utilizing your experiences will help people in their journey, trying to get to their destination. A lot of those destinations I've been to, I've visited. I have a lot of friends and everything in the football, in the sports ecosystem, that trying to teach young people how to take advantage of that.
All right. K's the limit. He said, would be a much better show if I'm guessing because they're talking about you after that, if he didn't kiss Chris's ass the time and disagree with him more often. Well, I mean, I disagree with him if I don't agree with him, but if I agree with him, I agree with him. Case the limit, but I'm doing the best that I can, bro. But if we talk about something I disagree with, I will definitely disagree with him. For you, I will try harder to disagree, but not when I agree.
Shawn is anything but a yes guy.
Yeah, I'm not a yes guy, but I will try. Right. But if I disagree, if I agree, I can't.
He's more of a no guy than a yes guy.
That is a true statement right there. Og Doughboy, 7185, great podcast, 100%. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Hunter Gonzo, PG4VF. Some of these people are like, my username is never going to be duplicated because ain't nobody going to pick PG4VF.
No.
CC is a great person to have around young people, not just for on-the-field guidance, but also for off-the-field guidance. I hope they understand what a great resource they have.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
No, but what I will say, though, what's Case, he'll be mad at me because I'm saying something nice about you, but is you can't get anybody to change unless you can be honest about the things you've been through. Like, you can't fucking preach to people and go, you should do it this way. But when you go, and I've seen you do it a million times with guys, like, here's the shit I did, this is what worked, and don't get it twisted for a minute. Like, that Buddy Ryan story, like, I tell it all the time.
I mean,
all the time.
I think people drop their guard because people want advice, but people don't want to be told what to do. All right? So there's a thin line between that. So to me, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make some connection that I don't want them to respect the accolades and everything. I want them to respect that I've made dumb decisions before. I've done things that I regretted. But most of them when I got caught or got into the mix, I looked at myself and said, you know something, that's my fault. Or if I did something to hurt someone, something like that, make an apology. Try to make the situation right. So in trying to mentor young people, you can basically do a lot of that tutelage from your mistakes. Like, I've made these mistakes. I use an example that over the next 40 years, if you're involved in athletics, either I've stepped in the pile of poop you're getting ready to step in, or I've stepped right next to it. And I think that you should learn from the stench off my shoe compared to stepping in it yourself and having to carry it through life, because you might not recover the way I recover. You know, a lot of people don't do that. So, you know, to me, it's very, very important that you're able to make positive deposits in this earth before you leave, and you utilize the things that you've been exposed to through athletics, through business, through relationships, to be able to help people in what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, but if you don't tell me that you've done something wrong, or you start preaching at me, I ain't listening to you anyway.
I mean, but how you gonna reach somebody?
You can't.
You like,
and also, nobody, when they're not feeling good about what they want, needs anybody to give them this.
I'm like, bro, don't be coming to me like baby Jesus in the manger,
bro, because we all know.
No, absolutely.
We all know, and that's even worse when you know what somebody's been through and they won't tell you. You're like, bro, I know. Like, I was there. Like, it's okay, but you're not telling me. And I think that's the thing with people, because that's all they want. They want the truth, but in a way that they can actually digest it. You want somebody to tell you something, make some deposits. Tell them your own shit. They start telling you more, and it works out pretty well.
Right.
All right. Danon, D-H, Dehib. What are we doing here? Come on, Cris Carter. This one, I got to start this over. What are we doing here? Come on, Cris Carter. Sit down dissing black men in front of a white guy. That's me. And then you invoke Al's name. Really? What is Dana? I think it's Dana. Dana. What is Dana? Dana, N-D-A, Habib. What is Dana referring to? Al's name. AI's name? Or is this Al's name? I don't know. I don't have any. She's talking. I don't know. Even know what she's referring to.
I don't know. I'm black. You're white.
I know that.
Every day.
That is.
We appreciate great observation.
You didn't miss that one.
Right.
All right. Lul Burt Caster, JYNJR. Man, it ain't that serious to me. They're looking too hard into them. Bolus play a lot of video games. Did I read this one last time? No, they watching a lot of gun things. He ain't carrying a real grenade. They're talking about. Did I read this last time?
Yeah.
I think I did. Right.
John Morant. Yes.
And did we read this one about bow and arrow? No, we didn't do that.
Yeah, we did.
No, we did that.
You asked me about that. No one can hurt. You get hurt.
He get two more that we
couldn't.
couldn't.
You can kill a baby deer with a bow and arrow, but.
Well, dude. Yeah, you cannot make it up. All right, so I want to add draft. What teams, when you look at the draft, do you say, man, they had a really good draft?
I got to go to the New York Football Giants. I mean, they got Carter, and they got the quarterback Dart. They got Dart from Ole Miss, traded back into the first round, because they had to leave this draft with a quarterback. And now they were able to get two of the premier players in the draft by what they did. So to me, I also believe it will help extend like their shelf life as the head coach and general manager, because they got this young kid, Dart from Ole Miss, that they're going to give him some time to learn the system and everything. But he's got a big-time arm. He's a good-looking athlete. And it's kind of funny how the Giants were looking at Shedeur very, very seriously, and then they end up going back to Ole Miss, Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Eli Manning was there to greet the kid and everything.
Yeah.
Tremendous irony.
Weird how that works out.
Dart played his hand better than Shedeur and them. But I think the Giants, they did a great job. I think New England, that left tackle from LSU, I mean, he is going to be a tremendous player. They got Travion Henderson in the second round, Ohio State, a flyer, a guy that can make big plays for them. I like Vrabel as a coach. I like the type of attitude that he brings, the way he coaches his team. They're always well prepared. So I think right there, the Giants, those are two of the teams right offhand that I really thought that they did a good job.
How about when you think they just missed it, dropped the ball, didn't get enough of a chance to improve their program or team they should have?
Dallas. I mean, they need someone next to C.D. Lamb. No, I do understand them building the interior offensive line. They've done that for a long – that's when they were successful 20 years ago by doing it that way. But they need another receiver. They need more playmakers and everything. So Dallas, to me, they could have done better.
It's funny you said about Ole Miss. Did you see what Lane Kiffin said about the kid that went to Miami? Carson Beck. You see what he said in the podcast the other day? They asked him about the NIL money. And he said they obviously didn't watch the film when he played us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They wouldn't have paid him that kind of money.
Yeah.
Because the money's crazy.
It's crazy.
The money is crazy.
It really, I got privy information to some kids going places. I'm like, defensive tackle from Syracuse, he got $1.5 million to go to Texas. It's offensive tackle for Virginia, like $1.3 million to be able to go somewhere. The basketball players too are crazy. FIU.
I didn't realize that. How crazy that shit's
because there's less players.
I know, but
there's
you
more
look
money.
at these dudes, I'm like, you ain't even gonna play
the kid
there.
that transferred from Florida State to FAU, he was asking, he had an offer of over $1.5 million to go somewhere, and he was willing to come back to FAU for $1 million. I'll play for him for $750. For real. They can give it to me in nickels.
But dude, you have these kids that are not playing on the team they're at now. They ain't gonna start the one they got now, eighth, and they're getting $1 million.
College football is crazy. College basketball is crazy. Like this judge, man, they need to come down with more rulings and everything because it's going to be the wild west. Yes.
It is a dangerous, and it's funny. You bitch about the way it used to be. There's a lot more shit being flown around now, and it's so much more out of control. So you know about it, and it's legal, but it's crazy. You getting promised this, you not getting this. How long do I go here? What do I do? And I think that's even the thing with some of these smaller programs. You get to a point where it's kind of like you got to decide who you are monetarily.
Did you see I got a good relationship with Fran Brown, the head coach at Syracuse, and his wide receiver asked him for $2 million. And he went to the press conference and said, "Are you the homie from Ohio State? Are you Jeremiah Smith? Because that's the kind of."
Because if you are, I'll give you $2 million.
Yeah, I'll give you
I'll find that.
Because man, these kids though, they're delusional.
Dude, it's funny. Even when you get outside of sports, it's like you get a dude making $80,000 a year in business. He makes $1 million. He's like, "Where's my $9 million?"
I think Shedeur's NIL valuation this year at Colorado was $6 million. It was, if not the highest in college football, one of the top 5 in the college football.
But think about that now, how much money they can make in college for a couple of years. Then the contracts nowadays compared to, they get a couple-year head start, what the rookie contracts are compared to. What was the rookie contract when you were a rookie? What did a guy to get drafted first overall, what was he getting?
I don't know what the first overall, but we had a package of there was 3 receivers drafted in the first round. I went in the supplemental. And we got between $1.5 and $2 million total for a 4-year deal.
For a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
And what are they getting now?
$30 million, $30 to $50 million. $30 to $40 million. Those first 2 or 3 spots.
And they're making more than that per year in college.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the top players are making $4 to $10 million in college throughout their career. Yes.
God bless them, dude.
The other thing about as you go through this whole draft process and thing, the NIL, Shedeur, Travis Hunter didn't take any NIL money. He gave it back to Dion so he can give it to the guys on the team.
All of it?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Dude, the more I watched the draft, the more I thought to myself, he was a steal. The more I was thinking about where you draft him, whether you get 1.5 players, 2 players, that's crazy. The more I thought about baseball mind, I'm like, dude, what would you pay for somebody who played shortstop and then you look at Ohtani, and you're like, dude,
that's the only way. That's the only way you can explain this.
Correct, because to me, that once I got my head around that, wait a minute, almost I love Cam Ward. They need a quarterback. I totally get it, but it's hard not to take him number 1 overall. Because you're literally paying one dude
unless
to do
there's
2
a quarterback.
jobs.
Unless there's a quarterback.
I hear you. But outside of that, you're dude, this guy's actually coming in. It's hey, you're the best this and this in the business. You're the best of both things. We don't need to hire 2 people.
Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter are the only 2 generational talents in this draft. I'm talking about generational. I'm not talking about a good player. Cam Ward's going to be a good player. He's going to be a Pro Bowler and everything. He can win a Super Bowl. But we've seen him before. We've seen him before. These other players, we haven't seen them. And I love Jacksonville, their general manager, youngest in football, 34 years.
Good for them, though. Go do something, bro.
That's what he said.
That's what I didn't hear what he said, but go do something. Somebody's like, man, I think it was Gruden or somebody, I'm like, dude, go do something. Good for them. And you went and got a guy who called you a generational talent. I look at it and go, you're going to play on both sides. However much you're going to play on both sides, you're going to pack the fucking place out.
Yes.
People are going to come. We were going to Jacksonville the day after the draft. The next day after he got drafted, fucking billboards already everywhere.
Yes.
I don't know how he had drafted 8 hours earlier.
And there's certain guys, man, they have a different energy about them. And it's when you see it and you see how other players react to them, like, to me, one of the biggest misconceptions of Colorado was the lack of really Travis Hunter. And if he doesn't go there, they don't turn that program around. Like, dude played 1,700 snaps, man.
Yeah, no, he's a different.
1,700 snaps last season. Like, you can go through, these kids been playing 5-6 years in college. They want to play 1,700 snaps. 5 years of college.
And even when he came on the stage, it's different. His energy, the way he moves,
Yes.
the way people gravitate towards him, everybody's eyeballs are on him.
Yes.
And you pull for him. You can't not pull. I mean, I know people talk shit
He
about him.
survived all that stuff during the season with his girlfriend and everything.
And hey, guess what? He's going to figure it out. Some guy was like, man, if it doesn't work well, I said, let me be clear.
He a hell of a guy. Dude, take her to the party. She texts him when she's ready to go. Homeboy pulls up in the whip. Hey, Mom, I'm ready. Uber service. Uber service is here. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't hang out.
If he's happy, he's happy. Leave the kid alone.
The best part about him going to Jacksonville, not only are they going to use him, but his dad.
Yeah, is right there, yeah.
His dad now can travel, especially in the state of Florida, because he had restriction because he's on parole, paper. Yeah. You can't travel state to state. So now his dad can, with his homeboys from Boynton Beach, they can get in the car.
Watch all
hey,
his
man,
games.
let's go watch Trav play.
Yeah. Hey, I'm pulling for him, dude. And listen, I'm pulling for Shedeur. I really am. I'm pulling for him. I think he's gonna do fine. I think that all of the stuff everybody does, I think smart people eventually make the decisions they need to make. And I think also if you're a great leader, that's kind of your job with people.
I think in this situation, a lot of people can learn from what he went through. And the number one thing is, don't think you know more than what you understand. Don't think you know someone else's business better than they know their business. And don't think you're getting ready to monetize something, excuse me, and let people know what your plan was. See, Eli and Archie, they didn't let anybody hardly know what their plan was. Like, they were like, okay, Eli, I was watching the interview this morning. Hey, Eli, you're getting ready to get drafted. If you get drafted by the Chargers, what you going to do? He said, I don't know. Well, if you're going to put the hat on? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. So he kept going through the formality. The Chargers drafted him. And then he waited with the plan and let the plan be played out, and then they traded for him. But letting people know what the plan was and trying to restrict who you might be going to, like, these are lifetime interviews. Like, people remember, a scout will remember your voice. He'll remember your body language. Because when you come up to be a free agent, he's going to be in the room. And I was in the back of the room when he acted a fool. I was in the back of the room when he disrespected our coaches. I was in the back of the room when he went over and dissertated to me the no huddle. He dissertated to me cover 2, cover 4, cover 3. He tore it apart. I was in the room. So that's what people kept saying. I was in the room. And that scout said that was the worst interview. Man, do you know how many jack-offs? Do you know how many stupid guys? You know how many guys that say, I don't care about the interview? You know how many guys did stupid stuff? And for one person to say, it's the worst one.
Who said that?
He didn't identify himself.
Got it. But somebody said that behind the scenes.
Yes. A current coach or a current scout said it was the worst interview he had ever seen.
You know, if we want to find shit out, we should let the Atlanta Falcons assistant coach know. Then he could tell his son, and then the entire world will know. So if we want anybody to know anything, we'll give it to him. So he said it was the worst interview he'd ever seen.
Yes.
Well, dude, his numbers are great. His tape's great. That completion rate's obnoxious. He don't throw the ball to the wrong team.
But it's just like, man, you prepare for a deal. You feel like you win the deal. But somehow, man, through the paperwork and everything, through the city, you didn't get a permit. Something
Dude, trust
happened.
and believe.
Somebody back-ended you, like.
Dude, I did construction forever. When them one guys came out, even though I knew they were frustrated because they didn't have my job, I was like, what you need? Yes, sir. No, sir. How can I help? I get it.
Yes.
Like, I that's what I've always had. I totally get it. And I just think that, but I think it's going to all play out well for everybody. And it was an interesting
I think the
draft.
best situation was when they called his name, he finally broke down and cried.
Yeah, he did, which I thought was genuine.
And that was that, yes.
Yeah.
But that was a very, very humbling moment. And I just hope that he can build from that because he's a good football player.
And I think he's a good kid and a good dude.
Yep.
So I really do. So, all right, Cris Carter, Shawn, Meaike, thank y'all. Talk to you next week. Like, subscribe, share. More comments. I won't read two of them over again, so I appreciate y'all.